Hey guys, Jason here with Damien, and we are back with the second episode of TCG Revisited, the series where we take a look at our old decks and think about ways on how we might want to update them. This episode today is going to be a bit easier than the last one we did because there is going to be less focus on making them stand out from one another. To be honest, the thing that these all have in common is they just have very satisfying curves, and other than the fact that I enjoy all of them immensely, I don't think they have too much in common with each other. Although I guess you could say that they are all 3 Civ decks which lack fire, and then they all share like 2 out of 3 Civs with each other. And so starting off, we have Beastfolk Mafia. So Damien, this is a deck that you are not the biggest fan of. You're a bit of a hater of this deck.
Honestly, out of the 3, Marino's the only one I like.
You don't like Prince or Scarab?
The card I like. The deck is not great.
What?
I don't like playing that one.
I'm so offended. Okay, anyway.
That's why I always let you guys play.
Okay, alright, so, alright. I'll propose some changes first, and then I'll let you jump in as well. I think Torcon could probably go. Makes more sense to play like 4 Emerald and 4 Magris. Then we can dump Mana Nexus for Sky Sword, which is probably better. Mysterious can go for Lucky Ball if we want to attack early. And then if you want, we can look for ways to put in Soul Swap.
I think if you look at Mysterious less like an Aggro card, but like a card that's like going to save you further down the line because the cards are so cheap. You've also got Bronze Arm charging, so you can give a turn where you draw 3 cards and charge and keep charging. So, but then you would never be able to do that on the same turn. So you're again just hoping it doesn't die.
Yeah.
But it makes use of Mysterious very well.
So you are a Mysterious sympathizer. Yeah, you're a simp. No, just kidding. Yeah.
I think this deck specifically, it's just really good. Like the amount of 2 costs, you've got Bronze Arm charging, you play Hulkus, draw 2 cards. It's just really strong.
Okay, I like this because with my proposed changes, it makes the deck a lot more akin to what we talked about in the last episode. So this is good. Let's keep Mysterious in the deck then. How do we improve it to make you less of a hater? What do we do to it?
I don't think you run 4.
Okay.
I remember playing this and always drawing it very early, and you always charge it. And then I just find it way too often. There's also turns where you just why would I play Mysterious when I can play Petrova?
That is also true. And that train of thought makes a lot of sense because in Wave Strikers, we also cut down from 4 Mysterious to 3.
Yeah.
Because back then we were thinking, oh, well, this is the only draw card really, so we have to play 4 so we can always find it. But then it just kept coming up in bad situations. So, all right, you have a very good point there.
Yeah, we've also got other draw in this deck as well.
We probably want to play more water, right? Like, I remember some of your earlier complaints about the deck are to do with water and how you could never play Emerald on turn 2 or something.
Yeah, I think the 2 drops were very hard to get down because of being 3 Civ.
Yes.
I don't know if it's about playing more water. I think the pig sometimes I couldn't get down either.
Oh wow.
On turn 2.
What do you think of this? What if you just play this as a 2 Civ deck? Let's say you cut water and it's exclusively Beastfolk Petrova.
Yeah, actually, I think that could be a thing.
Okay, and then that is where we will end the discussion. Yeah.
I think it would be hard to find good replacements.
Yeah, Hulkus does a lot for the deck's curve.
Yeah, and the Surfer as well.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to find good Nature Light cards.
I remember that during season 1, we were reserving Soul Swap for decks that like really needed it, right? So the more gimmicky decks, and then the more normie decks, they didn't play Soul Swap. But do you think Soul Swap is needed in this deck?
What, like, would you just soul swap Petrova out?
Yeah, like would you make the effort to find space for Soul Swap?
Yeah, I think it could be good. But if you're only using it for Mysterious Petrova, you're not like if you're playing a 2-drop and then playing a 3-drop mana to swap it out, you're playing 5 mana again.
Yeah.
Essentially. So
But another way to look at it is that if you charge Petrova early, Soul Swap just becomes an out to Petrova, so you don't have to top deck it. So it increases your outs.
Did it have trouble playing Petrova?
Actually, no, I don't think so. I think usually it's like, oh crap, I didn't find Petrova on 5, but that's not really like a Soul Swap related concern, right? It's just you didn't get lucky.
Yeah. Because if you see one in your hand, you're just gonna not charge it, right?
Yeah.
Essentially the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of keeping Soul Swap out of nature decks that like don't need it. But you know, I don't want to hold this deck back. This is a favorite of mine, not yours, clearly. Here's another thought. I think in the IDC meta, it's not uncommon for them to play, or at least in the past, have played these colors, but instead of like Bark Whip, they play Crazed Valkyrie. And, you know, I'm not sure if they play Sky Sword, but like with Bronze Arm, you know, that mana ramp helps. But do you think Craze is just too slow or like doesn't really fit the theme that well?
I think it depends what you were trying to do with the deck, really. Because the whole point of this deck was building a Civ, like a field of just one Civ, right? And then Petrova boosting.
All right, yeah, that's true.
Leave a ton of strong weenies.
Yes. True. Actually, do you think this deck needs Magrus?
All right. Why is he there?
Yeah, because actually, like, if you think about it, light might be overrepresented. Because...
I think so, yeah. You don't need it until 5.
Yeah. Oh, man. So maybe we take out, like, Magrus, and then we dedicate those slots to, like, Water and Nature, which makes the 2-drops more consistent.
Yeah, that could work.
Oh, man. We're so good. It's like you're taking out one of the advantage generating cards of the deck. We're just like, we're so good.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well. Now, what do you think of Bark Whip and Mana Nexus?
I think Bark Whip is good. Mana Nexus, not so much.
With Mana Nexus, would you rather play a form of shield recovery like Sky Sword, or would you rather just play more like, you know, cards that help the win condition?
I think I liked. We started using Sky Sword a lot more later, and it's just really good.
Yeah.
You don't get to pick the card you put down, but then it's a body, it's a mana ramp.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, anyway, this has been a pretty good discussion, but I don't want to spend too much time on this deck. Man, I said this would be a quick episode. So, I guess where we are landing here is that we want to strengthen the earliest curve of the deck, and it's cool to continue playing the deck with Mysterious in mind. Maybe not at 4 copies, but the Swarm component is, like, pretty nice.
Well, I think I remembered the whole reason why Magrus was there, because you guys felt like a 4-drop needed to be there.
Ah. Well, I mean, don't you think a 4-drop does need to be there?
Yeah. Well, just play 2-2-drop.
2-2-drops? Yeah, that's true.
I actually think that was the only reason you put Magrus in. You wanted a 4.
Hey, man. I have nothing to say to that. Yeah, we wanted a 4. Can you blame us? This deck is like no 4-drops. Oh. Yeah, this is so interesting. Thinking about this deck. Okay, anyway, let us move on. So the next deck that we'll talk about is Marino. So this is an old favorite. Now this is not the list. This is not the photograph I asked you to take. This is after we did the deck profile. I messed around with like taking out Lost Soul for Cloned Nightmare, but I don't think Cloned Nightmare is that good. Anyway, so I guess for some background, I'll start by saying I think enough research and testing has been done to determine that Marino operates best as a mid-range deck, not a true control deck. I guess the next question we want to ask is pairing Marino with Initiates really the best way to go? I think Guardians are also reasonable to pair with it.
What was there a reason this was done? Was it like a deck that won a tournament or something?
Well, in the OCG and in DMP, Marine or Aquan, I should say, was paired with Initiates and Guardians. I personally like Initiates, so I was very inclined to play it with Initiates. But I guess you could say another reason that we paired it this way was because Crazed Valkyrie curves nicely off Marinomancer, and Crazed Valkyrie is also a way to proactively interact with the opponent's board, right? With Guardians, it's a bit more passive. You're like waiting for for you to have enough setup and you play Holy R or something. Whereas Crazed Valkyrie works kind of like a fire spell a little bit.
I do feel like the Valkyrie works a lot better with since you're playing 3 Civ, you can't play as much light cards. It does work really well on its own.
Right. So what you're saying is like, yep, we were right. We were right this whole time.
Yeah.
We're
done?
Yeah, we're done. So no, I think first and foremost, we have to recognize that the deck is it's really slow, right? Like if you think about it, this deck has so much draw, but it's actually and it runs Cranium Clamp, but it's actually pretty honest because there's no mana ramp and there's no soul swap. So it's only really playing one card at a time. I think that's the inherent disadvantage. So I think the next logical step is to really question cards that are expensive. So Lost Soul was one. I think this deck should not play Lost Soul. But also, do we really need 4 Terrapin and 4 Holy Awe? And so the picture that I got you to take was this slightly updated version. So I think the 3rd Tajamal is good. 4 Tajamal might be bad feng shui, not just because number 4, but it's a lot of multi-civ. But I think the 3rd one is needed.
Yeah.
And I think the 4th Hulkus is also good because the last one didn't have 4 Hulkus. So that's probably what the 2 Lost Souls went out for. And then I cut down to 3 Holy All because I guess we already have 3 Crazed Valkyrie. And then I tried to find a way to squeeze in Locomotiver because...
Yeah, I think the 4 Holy All was a bit too much. Valkyrie's doing the same thing anyways.
Yeah. I think the last potential addition is, do you like... This is not just because I brought it up last episode, but how about some Zombie Carnival? Zombie Carnival Initiate.
I think that was one thing did we test that? I don't think we did.
Yeah, I don't think we did.
So we did a ton of testing for this deck.
Yes.
Just because you guys kept arguing whether Bloom was good or bad.
Yeah.
So there are so many variants with and without it. I don't think we actually tested Carnival.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
We keep saying Zombie Carnival because it's a fun card. I feel like in most situations, Morbid Medicine is probably just straight up better. But Zombie Carnival's funny.
Yeah.
If you were to squeeze one of those in, either of those, what do you cut?
Probably the Loco. I think that's the only thing that can be cut.
Yeah. Instinctively, I would have said the 4th Terrapin, but I think 4 Terrapins is really good.
Yeah. I mean, I think you need to take out a Darkness card either way. Yeah, everything else needs to stay the same, I think.
Everything needs to stay the same. Damien, do you fear change?
No. I mean, card, Civ count-wise.
Yeah. What do you think of Ballast? Do you like Ballast? The
I
two
think
mana vanilla.
um I think the whole idea was that you could play if you were able to get up to 8 mana, you'd have a lot of chances to just play Valkyrie in one turn, right?
Although, well, Damien, that is your interpretation, which is not wrong. But I think my rationale for playing Ballast was that we need, like, before the power level spiked, 2K was like sufficient to police the field most of the time. And so if this deck goes second and doesn't open Sarius, it's at a real disadvantage. So Ballast acts as like synthetic copies of Sarius to maybe like police or trade. I mean, I guess if you want, you can also maybe take out the 2 Ballast for like Morbid Medicine and like the extra Tajimal. No, that's not good feng shui. I think I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that in the comments. Like, why did you play 4 Tajimal? Tajimal's so good. But like, I remember there was a time where we played 4 Tajimal, and because this deck needs to charge every turn, the charging multi-civ,
There was too much multi.
it's a mess. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
What would you take Bellus out for, though?
Oh no, I'm just questioning whether it's really needed. But maybe like Morbid Medicine if it's like hard, or Zombie Carnival if it's hard to find space for. 3 Petrova would be nice, but 3 is probably too much. 2, I think like 2 is too little, but 3 is too much.
Yeah, because you didn't really need to play it.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be on the field for you to be able to do stuff.
Yeah. Okay, Damien, since this is the only deck that you like in this video, do you have anything left to say before we move on?
No, I think it's good.
All right, anyway, let us move on to the last deck, which is Lost Soul Beat, which apparently you hate. Pincer Scarab aggro.
I like Pincer Scarab. The deck I don't enjoy.
What? Why don't you enjoy it? You get to charge mana, you get to draw cards, you get to play Lost Soul. What more could you want?
It's so rude. Also, like, I don't know why. Like, when you guys play it, you guys get it off all the time, but it never works for me.
It's because we cheat. No, just kidding. It's because you don't like the deck. See, we like the deck, so it rewards us.
The deck knows.
Yeah, it knows. Heart of the Cards is a real thing. Now, in terms of changes, I think there are some things that we can talk about. And Makerp, who is an IDC competitor who won with this deck, he talked to me about some potential changes. So I'll get your thoughts on them. So first of all, what do you think about playing a thin Aqua Guard and Paladin line? So it's like 2 Aqua Guard, 2 Paladin. Find a way to squeeze those in for those pesky Petrova decks.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Because even though Pince is strong, all they need is 1 blocker, right?
Yeah. Could be
so
pretty.
if you can get rid of all of them, it could be good.
And another thing that we could talk about is, what do you think of Melnia? So it fits the colors, but doesn't have much synergy elsewhere.
I'm not sure. That one I need to test.
Yeah.
Find out.
And okay, here's one that you like. Unicorn Fish.
Oh, yes. That should have been there originally.
I think we discovered Unicorn Fish too late as well. I think we only... Season 3.
Yeah, because you guys told me it was bad.
I don't think
I remember this. We were looking at one of the early decks, and I was like, oh, this card is good. Why don't we play it? And you guys are like, no, there's better cards. Like, you're just like, oh, Coral's better.
Oh no, it's coming back. It's coming back to haunt me. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll give that to you.
And then the first time you let me use it was the Firewater Rush.
We were like, why am I losing to this?
It's the same cost as Pincer though.
Yeah. So I guess the idea is that you're not necessarily looking to play it on 4, but it's like Aqua Surfer. So it's like you Pincer first, and then you Unicorn. So maybe you bounce a blocker, and it's like, oh, Pincer is even stronger, and you're down like a creature, like a defense.
Yeah. But would you not just play Sparrowgate?
Unicorn Fish is a creature though.
Because you can get if you can get 2 spiral gates off.
I feel like that's just our religion. Like, would you not just want to play Spiral Gate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it depends how much again, yeah, that depends on the meta. How much blockers there are. Small blockers.
This is so wild, Damien, but like, what if you just dump Darkness entirely? You dump the Lost Soul for like Unicorn Fish and you dump the Terror Pits for Spiral Gate. Oh. Would that
I
make
guess
you
you're
like this deck?
You're really going for the win then, right? Because the Lost Soul like sort of like secures your win.
Yes.
So you sort of have to, after the Spiral Gates, you need to get that win.
Yeah.
Because if you get removed, they just have a ton of cards to play with.
Yes. That's correct. Yeah. Well, I think the Lost Soul is really like shield trigger insurance. So you play Lost Soul. If you break into a trig, it's fine because your opponent's on like no cards. Yeah. Unicorn Fish, you like that? How many copies do you play? I think you play like 2, right?
Yeah. It depends. What would you take out?
From what I'm looking at now, maybe you take out 1 Energy Stream and 1 Fighter Dual Fang.
Would you take out like Surfers?
Oh. I don't know. I don't think so, because I think Surfer is really good in this deck. And like, one of the purposes of playing Unicorn Fish is to have more copies of Surfer, not to compete with Surfer, at least in my mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so Unicorn Fish, that was fun, but like, here's another card that I might need to get you to look up. What do you think of Ice Vapor? So that card, yeah. So that card has been doing pretty well in the IDC tournaments. So it's 5 mana 1k, but it's like if your opponent casts a spell, they discard a card and burn 1 mana. So it's really good against control.
Oh, okay. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean the 5 mana is a bit late though.
But what if you play Ice Vapor on 4 because you have Mushroom and Bronze Arm? So if you whiff Pincer Scarab.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah. There's so many games where you get out Scarab very early from that, and it's just so dangerous.
Yeah. I guess if you want to go down the Ice Vapor route, what you do is you maybe swap out Lost Soul, right? And then you trade in the impact for more consistency, because I think Ice Vapor is more usable than Lost. Well, actually, maybe not necessarily, right?
It depends. Yeah, there's games where like the Lost Soul is just so good because not like, even though they have cards to play, they can only play 1 a turn.
Yes.
And then you're breaking at the same time.
Yes.
The Lost Soul is just huge.
That's true.
I don't see, if they're just playing creatures, I don't see Ice Vapor doing too well.
That's true. Yeah, it's only good against control, right? It's not that good against beat like aggro. But in saying that, Lost Soul is it that good against aggro?
It works because even though they have all the cards, they don't have the mana to play everything.
True. It does more against aggro at the very least than Ice Vapor,
Yeah.
presumably. Okay. I accept that. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Now here's the last card that I want to talk about. What do you think of Radioactive Horn?
Is that the 5? Wait, what is that one?
He is 3 mana 1k Double Breaker.
Oh,
He's like Baby Scarab.
why?
It's kind of like a meme. I guess it's more of a meme, but like, if you can't get Scarab out because you whiff, then like you can get him out instead, and you have an early Double Breaker.
Yeah, I'm just worried because like, there's so many 1k creatures.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess like the whole appeal of Pincer Scarab is not just the Double Breaker; it's that he's so big.
Yeah, he's so strong. He can't get killed by a lot of spells
Yeah.
after a certain point.
All right. Fine. The radioactive horn dream is dead.
No, I mean, like, on turn 3, would you rather play him or just another bronze arm?
Maybe bronze arm, actually. Yeah, I think actually bronze arm. So, like, you can set up your fighter dual fang, your lost soul.
Yeah.
All right. That was short-lived. I thought you would like radioactive horn. I wasn't seriously including it, but like I thought you would entertain the idea more. But you're being very mature about this.
He's still a bit too weak.
Yeah.
If we put him in a Petrova deck, so.
Oh, Petrova horn beast, and you play him with rumbling terror horn.
Just search for more rumbling terror horns.
Now we're cooking. You know, this is gonna sound so conceited, but I feel like this is one of the concepts we got right with the least amount of tries, like in comparison to our other decks.
Yeah.
And won an
This
IDC.
one was very tough.
Won an IDC, Damien. You can't argue with those results.
I'm pretty surprised how consistently you guys get this deck running, even with the triple civ.
Oh, that's right, because you're a 3 civ hater.
No, I've made some 3 civs.
But I know you frequently complain about 3 civ decks because it's hard to make them consistent.
I do. I think also this deck doesn't rely on dual civs, multi civs.
Yeah. And the third civ is like not really there because Terra Pits are like, half the time you're just playing them from your shields, and then 6 and 7 are like pretty late.
It takes up hardly any of the deck, but then it's still very vital.
Yeah.
For the deck to run. It's not like a 4 Holio.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, and on that note, that brings us to the end of the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed that discussion. I actually wonder in retrospect how much was achieved. But anyway, that was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys are excited for what we have next.